Jyrus shippers, we need to talk. So first things I want to say is that my heart goes out to you. I know what it's like to have a ship sink. I know what it's like to pour so much investment into a ship only to have it not work out. It is perfectly okay for you to mourn the loss of your ship. I totally get that. I hold no grudges against you whatsoever, and you have a right to feel upset about all this. One thing I do want to say, however, is that I do think some people are taking this a bit out of context, really. I think people are, it's not how I want to say this, but people are kind of overreacting from a place of being emotional about this, and I do want to help put you into some perspective as to that this is not as bad as you may think it is right now, because I know how it feels, and I know that if I was in your position and I was still a Jyrus shipper, I would probably be feeling a lot of the same things you are right now. But coming from a place of not shipping Jyrus anymore and kind of being excited for the possibilities, I would just want to try and reassure you that this is not the downfall of this show, and this is not the end of Cyrus's storyline. So starting from that point, a lot of people have been saying that this is proof that the show's queerbaiting and they're going to use this to completely erase Cyrus's storyline. Now, had this episode happened without any of the Tyra stuff happening, then absolutely I would see where you were coming from on that one. Because then it would have been like they were getting rid of the only option for Cyrus, and that where else were they going to go with it now? That would be perfectly reasonable. But that's not how this played out. Jonah hasn't been the only option for Cyrus in a long time. For half a season now, they've been building up that TJ is not only an option, but a pretty viable one at that. And whether you like them or not, that is your call. But that's clearly where they've been heading, and this episode pretty much solidifies that they're going with Tyrus. Joshua Rush has admitted that he knows who Cyrus's endgame is, and that he would use misdirection to make people think it's this person, then this person, So clearly there is an endgame, which means we're probably going to see the most of Cyrus's storyline in season 3, when he has a relationship or a developing relationship or whatever, probably with TJ, although technically it could also be some unannounced character. We're not 100% sure, but with all the development with TJ, they're not going to let that go to waste, especially with how fans have reacted to Tyrus thus far. So the other thing I want to say is that some people have been accusing us of coming out of nowhere, which I don't think is true if you look back at the season. You can kind of see Cyrus's evolution throughout the series as to being less starstruck with Jonah, really, but also, I don't know how to necessarily describe it. Maybe not less starstruck, less smitten, but still kind of starstruck by him. And especially if you look back at the last few episodes, I honestly think Cyrus has been over Jonah by about a walker to remember, and that he hadn't realized it yet. Because with the line, I can't tell you when it ended, but today's the day I realized it, this has been a long time coming. This has been in the making for a while. He's been over Jonah and just hasn't realized it yet. I know that I've said multiple times that I didn't think Buffy in a Bottle could have happened if he wasn't over Jonah, And I know multiple other people who were agreeing with me on that, like, yeah, he probably is over Jonah. So the fact that so many people could predict that, I think is indicative of the fact that they did hint at this for a while, and it has been coming. And it, even if it had completely come out of nowhere, sometimes it just sort of happens, you know? Like, you spend less time with somebody, which the two of them have been spending less time together, which is also probably a reason why it happened. You start spending more time with somebody else, you sort of see them in different positions that you hadn't seen them in before, and in different situations, and then just kind of don't feel the same anymore. It happens. I was a middle schooler once, and a lot of my crushes just kind of came and went, honestly. It's normal. Again, if this had happened with none of the Tyrus stuff before it, I would completely understand being as upset as some of you are. And even a part of me now understands being as upset as you are, because when I first saw this, I had an emotional reaction to it too, just in the other direction of being really excited that Tyrus is probably gonna be canon now. And I went a little overboard with my excitement until I calmed down and I realized, okay, let's take this in rationally and figure out what's all going on. And I think that if you keep an open mind for just a couple more episodes, you'll see that this show knows what it's doing when it comes to this. And they're not about to just let one of their biggest draws and one of their most important storylines just go to waste. Things are gonna be okay. I promise. And you can still ship Jyrus if you want to. I'm not going to hold any grudges against you if you don't want to ship Tyrus, any of that stuff. That is all your own personal choice. You can do whatever you want to. One thing I do urge you, though, please don't give up on this show now because of this. Because if ratings drop too hard and this show doesn't get a season 4, it's already unlikely to get a season 4. But if they don't have good enough ratings, there is no way the show is getting a season 4. And with everything this show has done, with all of the strides it's made, with all of the risks it's taken, with everything it can go towards, and with everything it's looking like they're gonna start doing in season 3, do you really want to throw all that away? I get it's gonna be hard without Jyrus, but I also think that we can move past this, and I don't think we need to fight about all this. We're all fans of Andi Mack, and we all want Cyrus especially to just be happy. That is the thing I've seen most often from both Tyrus shippers and Jyrus shippers, is that at the end of the day, whatever is going to make Cyrus happy is what needs to happen. And right now, this is what's making Cyrus happy. So take a few days, be emotional, be sad, mourn the death of your ship. That is perfectly fine. I have nothing against you whatsoever, and my condolences go to you. Like I said, I once was a Jyrus shipper, and if I was in your position, yeah, I would be really sad. Just like if Jyrus had happened, Tyrus shippers would be really sad, while Jyrus shippers would be super pumped. It's that kind of dynamic here. But I don't want us to be on opposite sides. I don't want us to be tearing each other apart. I want us to be able to work together and just be a fandom that's excited about everything this show has done, is doing, and will do, and everything in between. This is a show we all love. This is not the end of it. This is not the downfall of it. A lot has changed, but would this show be Andi Mack if stuff didn't change all the time? I don't think it would be. So that's all I really have to say right now. Again, I hope you guys are all doing okay, and I hope to see you again soon, because I'm definitely not giving up on this show, and I really hope you don't either.